What if I told you that one of India's fastest growing finance companies, serving millions of everyday dreamers, was never meant to be in the spotlight? No billion-dollar valuation hype, no garage startup cliches, just grit, groundwork, and quiet revolution. This is the story of HDB Financial Services, and it might just change the way you think about modern finance in India. Back in 2007, India's banking sector was evolving fast. HDFC Bank was already a titan, but there was a gap, a deep one. Millions of self-employed individuals, shopkeepers, and small businesses across Bharat were invisible to traditional banks. No credit score, no paperwork, no entry. So HDFC Bank did something unusual. It set up a non-banking financial company, HDB Financial Services, a separate engine to power underserved India, a company designed not for headlines but for impact. HDB didn't start with a bang. There was no charismatic founder, no unicorn buzz, just a team of believers determined to unlock credit for those who had been left behind. They lent where others wouldn't, visited customers in dusty lanes, assessed trust where algorithms failed. In the early years, they took on the hard stuff: gold loans, collections, unsecured credit. It wasn't glamorous, but it was necessary. If stories like this inspire you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And just a reminder, this isn't a stock tip. It's an inspiring story of persistence. Today, HDB serves over 19 million customers, with a branch network of 1,772 locations across 1,162 towns. Over 80% of those branches are outside metro cities. That's not just scale, that's presence. In the very heart of real India, they've built their business across three core verticals: enterprise lending, supporting MSMEs with working capital and term loans; asset finance, funding vehicles and equipment for small business owners; consumer lending, from personal loans to gold loans to education financing. And the timing couldn't be better. India has a $530 billion MSME credit gap. That's not a statistic, it's a signal. Millions of small entrepreneurs are waiting for that one loan to grow, to hire, to build. HDB is right there unlocking that potential. Their model? It's simple on the surface. Lend money, earn interest. But what makes them different is how they lend. They mix data with deep field intelligence, blend digital onboarding with face-to-face relationships. And because they also manage collections for third parties, they earn service revenue too. Lending is their engine. Trust is their fuel. One bold move? Their focus on Tier 2 and Tier 3 towns, even when everyone else rushed to digitize for metros. Critics doubted them. But those towns? They're now the fastest growing markets in retail credit. Still, the journey hasn't been smooth. In 2020, COVID struck. Their borrowers, small businesses and self-employed workers, were hit hardest. Collections dropped, defaults surged. HDB faced one of its toughest phases. But they didn't retreat. Instead, they digitized recovery processes, restructured loans humanely, and pivoted to safer lending models. It was survival with heart. They made mistakes too. For years, they underinvested in tech. While agile fintechs built sleek platforms, HDB lagged in digital experience. But they learned, and now they're catching up, steadily, if not flashily. And then, 2025, a defining moment. HDB Financial Services finally went public. Their IPO wasn't just a financial event, it was a coming-of-age story. Investors responded with confidence, pushing the stock up nearly 20% in just 2 days. Not bad for a company built away from the spotlight. Let's pause for a moment and reflect on their SWOT. Strengths: a massive footprint in underserved markets, a reputation for disciplined lending, and the trust of being backed by HDFC Bank. Weaknesses: slower digital transition and a higher reliance on unsecured lending than ideal. Opportunities: the $530 billion MSME funding gap, rising rural consumption, and formalization of the economy. Threats: aggressive fintechs, evolving RBI norms, and the ever-present risk of defaults in volatile markets. But here's the real takeaway. You don't need to be born in Silicon Valley to build something extraordinary. You don't need a charismatic founder or a viral app. Sometimes the quietest companies make the loudest impact. HDB Financial Services didn't just build a business, they built bridges. between aspiration and access, between small towns and big dreams. And if they can do it, so can you. Start small, stay grounded, serve with empathy, and when it's your turn to rise, the world will notice, just like they did with HDB, because the best businesses aren't built for noise. Subscribe.